The first time Lillian Hart's shadow moved without her, she thought it was just the wind, until it waved at her. She froze in the middle of her bedroom, heart hammering as moonlight spilled across the wooden floor. Her shadow stood against the wall, and it was not copying her. Slowly, deliberately, it lifted its hand again. Lillian's breath hitched. "I'm dreaming," she whispered. The shadow tilted its head. Then it stepped away from her feet. The room went cold. Not winter cold. Grave cold. Lillian stumbled back as her shadow stretched unnaturally tall against the wall, edges rippling like smoke. "Who are you?" she demanded, voice trembling. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a voice answered, not from the air, from the floor. "Yours." Her stomach dropped. "My shadow doesn't talk." "I wasn't always," it replied. Moonlight flickered. The darkness peeled itself on the wall and condensed into a shape. Tall, masculine, faceless, made of moving night. Lillian pressed against her door. "Stay back." "I cannot," it said calmly. "I am bound to you." Outside, the church bells rang midnight. The shadow's form flickered violently. Lillian felt something tug at her chest, a thread connecting them. "What did you do to me?" she whispered. "Nothing," the shadow said. "You did this when you were 6. Her mind went blank. 6? A memory surfaced, faint and broken. A little girl crying alone in a hospital hallway. Lights failing. A whisper promising she'd never be alone again. "You," she breathed. "That night?" "Yes." The shadow's voice softened. "You asked the dark to stay." Suddenly, pain exploded through Lillian's body. A glowing white sigil burned across her wrist, holy light cutting into her skin. The shadow recoiled violently, smoke tearing from his form. She screamed. Golden symbols flared across the walls. A voice thundered from nowhere. Unnatural binding detected. The shadow growled, low, furious. "Light hunters," he hissed. Figures of radiant white stepped through her bedroom wall, wings carved from pure energy. Angels. Their eyes locked on the shadow. "Release the girl," one commanded. The shadow stepped in front of Lillian. "She called me." "She was a child," the angel replied coldly. "Dark contracts made in fear are invalid." Lillian grabbed the shadow's arm. Her hand passed through smoke. "I don't remember agreeing to anything," she cried. "You asked me to stay," he said quietly. "And I did." The angels raised their hands. Light spears formed. The sigil on her wrist burned hotter. "He will consume your lifespan," one angel warned. "Every year he exists, you lose one." Lillian's breath caught. She looked at the shadow. "Is that true?" Silence. "Yes." The word felt like betrayal. The angel struck. Light pierced through the room. The shadow roared as parts of him dissolved into sparks. Lillian screamed and threw herself forward. "Stop." The moment she touched him, darkness surged. Not violent. Protective. It wrapped around her like wings. The angels froze midair. The room fell silent. The shadow's form shifted. For a split second, Lillian saw something else beneath the smoke. A face. Human. Young. Lonely. "I will not harm her," he said softly, "even if it costs me existence." The angels hesitated. The sigil on Lillian's wrist dimmed. "Final warning," the lead angel said. "If he gains a heart, he will gain a body." The angel's gaze turned sharp. "And if that happens, he will no longer be bound by shadow." They vanished in a flash of white. The room collapsed back into darkness. Lillian fell to her knees. The shadow stood in front of her, flickering weakly. "You're killing me," she whispered. "I am surviving because of you," he corrected gently. "And if you become human?" He paused. "Then I will die." Silence stretched between them. Fear war with something else inside her. "You stayed," she said finally. "All these years." "Yes." "Why?" The shadow looked at her. Even without eyes, she felt it. "Because you were lonely." Her chest tightened. "So were you." For the first time, the shadow didn't deny it. Outside, the moon shifted behind clouds. And Lillian realized something terrifying. She didn't want him to leave. Lillian woke to silence. Not normal silence. The kind that presses against your ears. She sat up slowly. The sunlight filled her bedroom, but something was wrong. Her shadow was gone. No shape at her feet. No darkness stretching along the wall. Just light, pure light. Her heart began to pound. "Hello?" she whispered. Nothing answered. The thread in her chest, the invisible pull she'd felt the night before, was still there, faint, weak, but alive. Relief washed over her until she noticed something else. Her wrist, the glowing angelic sigil had returned, and it was brighter. "You're suffocating him." The voice came from her mirror. Lillian gasped. Her reflection did not move, but behind it, inside the glass, darkness stirred. Then he stepped out. Smoke poured from the mirror's surface as her shadow reformed on the floor. He looked thinner, edges unstable. "You disappeared," she breathed. "The sun weakens me now," he replied quietly. The angels strengthened the seal. "Lillian, clench your fists. They said you're stealing my life." Silence. He didn't deny it. Instead, he looked at her wrist. "I never meant to harm you." "Then break the bond." His form flickered violently. "I cannot." "Why?" "Because you will die if I do." The room froze. Her blood ran cold. "What?" "When you were 6, you were dying." Memories crashed into her like broken glass. Hospital lights. Machines failing. Doctors shouting. "I was fading," he said softly. "Your soul was slipping." "You're lying." "You begged the dark to keep you alive." Her breath became shallow, and it answered. The sigil on her wrist flared again. Golden chain shot from it, wrapping around his smoky arms. He hissed in pain. Light bled into the room. A voice echoed from nowhere, dark entity evolving. Lillian grabbed his hand instinctively. Her fingers sank into shadow. Warmth pulsed. Human warmth. The chain snapped. For a second, just one, he had a face again. Sharp jaw. Dark eyes. Pale skin. Young. Beautiful. Lonely. Lillian's heart skipped. "You're changing," she whispered. He looked at his own hands in shock. "I can feel." The words sounded terrified. Outside, clouds swallowed the sun. The room darkened. He grew stronger instantly. "I was not meant to feel," he said, stepping closer. "I was created to guard, nothing more." "But you do," she breathed. "Yes." He lifted his hand, hesitated, then gently touched her cheek. This time, she felt it, not smoke, skin. A spark shot between them. The sigil burned violently. Lillian cried out as light and shadow clashed across her body. He pulled away instantly. "I'm hurting you." "No," she gasped. "You're becoming real." A slow, dangerous understanding filled his eyes. "If I become human, I am no longer bound to your shadow." "That's good." "No," he said quietly. "Because the angels will be allowed to kill me." A thunderous crack split the sky. The window shattered inward. 3 angels descended in blinding light. Their wings scorched the walls. "It has begun," the lead angel said coldly. "The shadow has grown a heart." Lillian stepped in front of him. "You can't just barge into my house." "He is corrupt magic," the angel replied. "He survives by draining your years." "I chose him," she shouted. "You were a child." The shadow stepped beside her. "No," he said calmly. "She chooses now." The angel's eyes shifted to Lillian. "If he fully manifests," one warned, "your lifespan will split in half." Her throat tightened. "How much time do I have?" The angel's gaze softened, barely. 40 years. Silence. Lillian looked at him. 40 years cut to 20? Or let him die. Her chest ached. He stepped back. "I will go." She whipped around. "What?" "I was created to protect you, not shorten your life." Pain flickered across his almost human face. "If I remain shadow, you live fully. And if you become human?" "I live," he said softly. "But you lose half your time." Tears burned her eyes. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I did not expect to want anything." The angels raised their weapons. "Choose," they commanded. Lillian's heart pounded so loudly it drowned the world. She looked at him, at the way he watched her, not as a guardian, not as a monster, but as someone afraid to lose her. You said I was lonely, she whispered. You were? I'm not anymore. The room went still. She stepped forward and kissed him. Darkness exploded. Not violent, not evil, alive. The angel staggered backward as shadow wrapped around the two of them like wings. The sigil shattered into golden dust. When the darkness settled, he was solid, human, standing in front of her, breathing. The angel stared in horror. It's complete, one whispered. He looked down at his hands, at his heartbeat, then at her. You chose me. Yes. Outside, the sky cracked open. A deeper voice echoed from above and below, balance broken, and somewhere in the distance, something ancient awakened. The moment the darkness settled, the world changed. Lillian felt it first. The air itself felt heavier, like something unseen had turned its attention toward her. The room was colder now, shadows stretching unnaturally along the walls. And beside her, he breathed, not as smoke, not as a whisper. A man. He looked down at his chest, touching it slowly as if surprised by every movement. His heartbeat echoed softly in the silence. I feel alive, he said, but the joy in his voice didn't last. Outside, the sky darkened unnaturally fast. Clouds twisted into spirals above the city, swallowing the sun whole. The angels hadn't left. They hovered beyond the broken window, their light dimmer now, uncertain. You should not exist, the lead angel said. The shadow, no. The man stepped forward instinctively, placing himself between them and Lillian. I exist because she chose, he replied. That choice broke the balance. The ground trembled. A deep crack split the street below, spreading like a wound through the earth. Black mist seeped upward, cold and ancient. The angel's expressions changed from anger to fear. No, one whispered. It's waking. Lillian's stomach tightened. What is? The lead angel looked at her, voice heavy. The thing that created him. Memories flooded his mind suddenly. He staggered, gripping his head as flashes of darkness tore through his thoughts. Endless voids, whispers older than language, a presence without form. I remember, he gasped. Lillian caught him before he fell. What's happening? I wasn't just your shadow, he said, voice shaking. I was a fragment. A fragment of what? Before he could answer, the mist outside rose higher, forming towering shapes that move without bodies. A voice echoed through the sky. My creation has grown a heart. Every window shattered at once. The angels raised their weapons instantly. The abyssal king, one said, the first shadow. The darkness outside pulsed, responding to the man standing beside Lillian. You were made from him, the angel continued, a guardian shaped from pure darkness. If he reclaims you, he returns fully. Lillian's chest tightened, and if he does, light and shadow will collapse into war. The man turned to her, fear clear in his eyes for the first time. I didn't know, he whispered. I was never meant to become human. The mist surged closer. It wasn't attacking. It was calling. He took an involuntary step toward the window. Lillian grabbed his hand. Don't. His fingers trembled in hers. It's pulling me back, he said. I can feel inside me. The voice returned, softer now. Come home. Leave the girl. Become whole again. Pain crossed his face. If I go, he said quietly, this ends. And if you don't, he met her eyes. It will come for you instead. The angels lowered their weapons slightly. There is another way, the lead angel said. Both of them turned. The bond must be broken willingly. Lillian's heart dropped. If you release him, the angel continued, he will return to shadow. The abyssal king loses his anchor. The world remains safe. And him, she asked. He forgets you. Silence filled the room. The man shook his head immediately. No. But the mist outside roared louder, cracks spreading across the buildings as darkness pushed closer. He clenched his fists. I was created to protect you, he said softly to Lillian, not destroy everything around you. Tears filled her eyes. You're not destroying anything. I am the reason it's coming. The floor shook violently. The ceiling cracked, dust falling around them. The abyss was almost there. He cupped her face gently. His touch was warm now. Human. Real. I didn't understand love before you, he said. Now it's the only thing I understand. Then stay, she whispered. His smile was sad. If I stay, you die first. Her breath caught. The bond tied our lives together, he explained. Every year I live as human. It takes from yours. The truth hit her like ice. The angels had been right. The countdown had already begun. Outside, a massive shape formed in the darkness, eyes opening within the storm. Watching, waiting, hungry. He leaned his forehead against hers. I finally became human, he said quietly, and now I have to choose to disappear. No, she said, gripping his shirt. We'll find another way. There isn't time. The abyssal voice thundered again. Return, or I take her instead. The walls shattered inward as shadow flooded the room. The angels spread their wings, struggling to hold it back. Decide now, one shouted. Lillian's heart screamed against her chest. Lose him, or lose everything. He stepped back slowly, fingers slipping from hers. Thank you, he whispered, for giving a shadow a soul. The darkness surged toward him, and stopped, because Lillian stepped forward. No, she said. The room froze. Her eyes burned with determination. If balance is broken, she said, voice shaking but strong, then we fix it together. The abyssal presence paused. Interested, curious. The angel stared in shock. You cannot fight it, one warned. Lillian squeezed his hand again. Maybe not alone. The man looked at her, hope and fear colliding in his eyes. What are you saying? She smiled through tears. If the shadow can become human, maybe a human can become something more. The storm outside went silent. Even the abyss listened, and for the first time, the choice wasn't his. It was hers. The storm went silent. Even the abyss waited. Lillian stepped forward, releasing his hand slowly. If the shadow can become human, she said, voice steady despite the chaos around her, then maybe a human can carry both light and dark. The angel stiffened. That is forbidden, the lead angel warned. So is loving him, she replied. Outside, the massive shape in the sky shifted. Two ancient eyes opened fully within the storm, endless, depthless. You would offer yourself? The abyssal king's voice rolled through the world like thunder beneath the ocean. Lillian's heart pounded, but she didn't look away. Yes. The man beside her grabbed her wrist. No, he said fiercely. You don't know what it will do to you. I know what it will do if I don't. The cracks in the city were widening. Buildings trembled. The angels were struggling to hold the line against the spreading dark. You said you were made protect me, she whispered to him. Let me protect you now. His eyes broke. I just learned how to live. And I just learned I'm not afraid of the dark. The abyssal king extended a tendril of pure shadow into the room. It did not strike. It hovered before her. Take my power. Become my vessel. Balance will be restored. The fragment remains human, but you will not remain unchanged. The angels shouted at once. If you bind yourself to the abyss, you may never be fully human again. Lillian gave a small, sad smile. Neither was he. She stepped forward. The shadow touched her chest, and the world exploded. Darkness flooded her veins, cold, infinite, ancient. But something else ignited inside her, too. Light. The broken sigil on her wrist reformed. Not gold. Silver. Shadow and radiance twisted together around her body like living armor. Her eyes flashed, one glowing white, the other deep black. The storm above cracked open as energy surged upward from her. The abyssal king roared, not in triumph, in shock. You are not submitting. I'm not your vessel, Lillian said, her voice layered. Human and something deeper. I'm your equal. The angel stared in disbelief. She hadn't chosen shadow over light. She hadn't chosen light over shadow. She had fused them. The man watched her, all filling his face. You're incredible, he breathed. The abyss tried to pull her inward, reclaim control, but her light pushed back. The angel stepped forward cautiously. She's stabilizing it, one whispered. The darkness in the sky began to shrink, folding inward toward her outstretched hand. You don't get to threaten my world, she said calmly, and you don't get to take him back. With a final surge of combined power, she pulled the Abyssal King's essence into herself, not as a master, as a balance. The storm shattered like glass. Silence fell over the city. The cracks in the earth sealed. The angels lowered their weapons slowly. "It's contained," the lead angel said softly. Lillian floated down gently to floor. The armor of light and shadow faded into faint markings along her skin. Beautiful, celestial patterns. The man rushed to her. "Lillian." She blinked, both eyes normal again. "I'm still me," she whispered. He pulled her into his arms. And this time, there was no pain, no burning sigil, no life being drained. The bond had changed. It was no longer parasitic. It was chosen, equal. The angels approached carefully. "You have done something unprecedented," the lead angel said. Lillian raised an eyebrow. "Is that angel talk for, I broke your rules?" A faint smile touched the angel's lips. "Yes." The man squeezed her hand. "What happens now?" The angel looked between them. "The balance remains. The abyss sleeps within her, restrained. You are no longer a fragment. You are fully human." He looked at his hands again. Solid, warm, alive. "And her lifespan?" he asked quietly. The angel's voice softened. "Untouched." Lillian exhaled in relief. The angels began to ascend. But before leaving, the lead angel paused. "Love is the only force that has ever rewritten cosmic law," he said. "Guard it well." Then they were gone. Morning light slowly crept over the horizon. The city was quiet. "Ho!" Lillian stepped onto the balcony, the wind brushing her hair. He stood beside her. "No more shadows?" he asked gently. She smiled. "There will always be shadows." She intertwined her fingers with his. "But now they don't scare me." He leaned down and kissed her softly. And this time, the world didn't shake. It simply continued. Somewhere deep inside her, the abyss slept peacefully, balanced, waiting, but no longer alone.